like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity for Camp Partnerships. And today's a working session. I kind of like the working sessions more than I do the other sessions because then I feel like I get something done. Um, you know, it's kind of like when we were at camp and Jason, I could tell he was a bit edgy, like he wanted. I said, "Do you want to go work with your brother?" He's like, "I would." like, like, like do roofing,
Let's go
and
do some roofing.
yeah, let's go do some roofing. And the Amish are just, it's like my dad, I think if you grow up on the farm, you grow up outside, you grow up growing things or, whatever, it gets in your blood. It's like, it's fun. And so for me, that's not so much. Like, what do you want to go put roof on? Like, no, probably not going to be, which is okay. But for me, I enjoy doing that mentally. And um, so my mind, it works differently than most people. And so it's like I'm a scientist of people and in situations and things. And so, friendships, most people seem like they don't give friendships a lot of thought. Like it's always interesting when somebody says, "I want to be a friend with you, Mark," or "I'm your friend." I'm like, really? Like, hmm. So, the Life Masteries and some other people have put together a website for me, which is interesting. And so, um, this is uh, this is Jim Bontrager, one of the best gifts anybody's ever given me. Um, and so I'll go ahead and let me play this because this I think is interesting. So
Greetings, Jim Bontrager here, author of the best-selling book Mark Boersma for Dummies. Tremendous resource. You'll see the subtitle there. The first thing you may truly know is you really don't know what you thought you knew, and that's just sums up my experience. When I first met Mark, I, like many of you, are trying to figure this guy out, and so I just thought I'd put together a guide here to help you better understand, and I'd like to share with you some of my collective wisdom that I've found in my relationship with him and help save a bunch of time here. So you'll notice we have a number of exciting things that I learned. First of all, I like you. Are wondering I never met anybody like this guy, but I did learn a handful of things I want to share with you and maybe save you some time here. Maybe answer some questions for you. The first thing you got to understand about Mark is he believes that you were given a gift called life, that you have tremendous potential to make the world a better place. It doesn't matter how that looks like. It can be in business. It could be you as an individual running a nonprofit, maybe as a pastor or a dad or a mom, husband, wife. But the other thing that Mark firmly believes is that we all have blind spots. We have things that are keeping us back from being everything we're designed to be. We have a tendency to judge others by their actions, but us by our intentions. And many times we get no more than that, intentions. It's not permanent life change. And so one of the things about Mark is the driving force is that he is your best friend if you have a sincere desire to grow. That if you have the humility and want to be accountable to have people in your lives, that collectively we could make our time on earth count, then I'm telling you right now, this guy's going to be one of your best friends. But you need to be warned also. And that's the fact that if you don't want that, if you just want to go through the motions and just try to keep walking down the road there blind to the things that are tripping you up and keeping you from being everything you need to be, then this guy's gonna expose it pretty quick, So you might want to move on. If that's you and you don't have a sincere desire to grow, then this is going to be the worst thing you ever made up your mind. So I just wanted to try to give you a couple things that I learned in my short relationship with Mark. I hope they be encouragement to you, and I believe with all my heart that those of you that really have a sincere desire to grow in business, to grow in your ability to serve your fellow man, and a heart's desire to be a better human being, so that you can make the world a better place, then welcome aboard. This is going to be a great ride. So God bless you.
That's a cool tribute. That's really
right.
cool. How long have you known that? How long have you known that gentleman?
Well, at that time it was a little less than a year. And so, the fourth anniversary of Jonathan's death is coming up on tomorrow, actually. And so, Ben said to me or a couple days ago that, that I didn't realize, Dad, that Father's Day was so close to it. And so he died on a Wednesday, and Father's Day then was the next coming Sunday. So it was like, 3 days later, 4 days later. This time Father's Day is the day before, and so Jim, I probably when we moved here, the story is a really intriguing story. I mean, this guy's insane. I've never met anybody like him. Like it's just so he's the president of the largest police chaplaincy in the world. So he just
Interesting.
lives like 10 minutes from us. And it was interesting. So I went ahead and met him at church. Like I was at church, going to a church, and he got up and he spoke for like 3 minutes about police and chaplaincy and stuff. And I'm like, man, I have got to meet this guy. Wow. So after church, I watched where he sat down. After church, I wandered over there and sat, they had chairs, and I sat in front of him, and he's actually working on his computer. Like he's down like this, big guy, like a Marine guy. I mean, and yeah, and he looking down, and all of a sudden he looks up at me and he's like, yeah. He said, hey Jim, my name is Mark Boersma. He's like, okay. And I think I found out later why he was not in the best mood. He was supposed to have a half an hour or something, and there was some to speak, and the church kind of got mixed up or something, and so they only gave him 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to speak. So he was maybe a little poosty. He might have been a little sassy, which was fine. I said, my name is Mark Boersma. And he's like, okay. And I said, hey, I'm just curious, like if anybody could help you in any area of your life, like what would you love help on? And he said, clone myself. I said, well, that's a coincidence because that's actually what I do for a living. Is I clone leadership. It's like, really? So yeah, that'd be great to go ahead and have one just on that. And so the insights that he gave, it's like I've never met anybody. The guy is just crazy, amazing. So it's been probably 2 years now. It's 2 years now that I've known him. So not long. He said, God offends the mind to reveal the heart. I'm like, boy, I wish I'd have known that years ago. I'm a greater gift to people than I realized. Yeah. And so, then he said, Mark, I understand now why you don't mind when people leave you, like when friends leave you, when people leave you. I'm like, okay. He's like, you pour so much into people, it's insane. He says, so when people leave you, you can take that same energy, invest it into 3 or 10 other people. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. He was sharing with somebody about, he's like, you and I so he says, I have a vision for police officers, in Elkhart. He was a chaplain and for the Elkhart police. And he says, so I have for Elkhart or the United States. He said, Mark's vision is like he cares about everything, everyone. So just an interesting guy. In the friendship realm, there's 4 levels of friendship. So, like, who has a website where they have friendship mapped out? So I'm just strange. And so, like, when I meet somebody for the first time, what I want to say, what I won't say, but what I want to say is, so I'm just curious, like, introduce myself. My name is Mark Boersma. What's your name? tell me a little bit about yourself, your story. And they tell me, and then I say, so how long do I have to get to know you how long do I have to get to know you before I tell you what I see? So most people don't want to see things. They just want to, like Amy XIE from China. She went ahead and said, for the first 3 months, I told her exactly what she wanted to hear. And so she liked me. And then after 3 months, I told her something she didn't want to hear. And she got really mad at me. She's like, you don't understand Chinese people. Oh, she was dick. I'm like, okay. And I started laughing. I wouldn't recommend that. When a woman's mad at you, I wouldn't recommend laughing, but I did because it's okay because I have social autism. So, like, I have this disability. And so that's another story. I'm full of stories. Anyways, so I started laughing. I said, Amy, you know what they said when my daughter and I were over in Russia when she was 11 years old? And she's like, no, what'd they say? I said, you don't understand Russians. Like when I said, you know what, when Jonathan and I were over in Africa, you know what they said? You don't understand Africans. My wife said, you don't understand women. My kids, you don't understand. Like, like we surround ourselves by people who are like ourselves, who tell us what we want to hear, and we don't grow. So the first level is people will like me. So because of my understanding of people, and personalities, and I can feel the energy of when they were conceived, like the spark of life. Literally, there's a electrical current when people are conceived there, and I can feel that. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So I can feel people's potential. Like I can feel. It's almost like I can see them kind of as God sees them, like as this amazing creation. And so people are obviously drawn to that because I see more in them about themselves than they see in themselves. And so they've never met anybody like me, like that, where I'm like, you are like the craziest, coolest creation. And so Freddie so let me tighten it up here. So we have 3 minutes here. So the level 2 is then I'll irritate people. And if people get through this stage, then they'll love me. And then where it really happens, and there's very few of those, level 4 is our visions connect. Like what God put somebody on the planet for, what he put mine, it becomes like steel that's forged together. And so I believe that can be accelerated really fast. Like really fast. Like it's just so I forgot the woman's name that connected with Makaya. Lauren. So she connected not only with Makaya, but she connected very deeply with me. She didn't know she connected deeply with me, but she connected very deeply because she connected with Makaya. So when you connect with my granddaughter, you connect with me. Like I want to, I don't know, like Angela, my youngest daughter, can we pull off going to Australia when she goes to the wedding? I think her sister's wedding. I don't know. Like, I just like when somebody connects with like my wife or my kids or my grandkids, I want to like there was this connection, and that connection, if it's not developed, it will probably go away. But there was something, and it wasn't just sharing the food. That definitely made an impression on Makaya because she has struggles, I think, sharing her food. So only a true friend shares food. And so here it's like, so I believe that if you do certain things, like you understand their personality, and then you understand, their passions, and then you understand their life balance, and then you understand, if you get certain data, you can almost artificially create a connection, but it's real. It's not an artificial connection, but you can accelerate and get deep friendships very fast. So I've done this for a living. And so, I can do it literally in minutes. I can have a deeper relationship over the phone. I don't even have to see him. I just talk to him. I can have a deeper relationship in 5 minutes with somebody than I can with my own brothers. And so it's really cool. I love deep relationships. I love deep friendships, and I want my grandkids to have as many as they can. I want, and so it's like, so what happens is in the friendship, I'll set it up. And so in here, there's white papers. And so these white papers, there's different sections. And so these are simple, like a child who's 7 years old can understand this. And you are 7, honey. And so what I'll do is I'll set up in my Life GPS channel, I'll set up. So when somebody reads a white paper that I've written, I've accumulated, like that may have taken me 30, 40 years to figure out the mindset. When somebody gets that and reads that, it's like, wow. Like, so they create a connection. There's this almost genetic DNA connection. Or when like Lily reads WIFM or Consistent and Committed, and she shares her thoughts, she will see things in there that I've written that I didn't do even intentionally. Like I'll touch her life, I'll impact her life in a way that I didn't even know as an author. And so, my assignment for next week is to get something in my friend's channel, in the Life GPS, so you can see what I mean by that. And then I can get that out. And then you can think about, like, who would be 2 people that I know that might be interested in learning something more about friendship. So these 4 levels of friends, I don't think that this is just for Mark. Like, I think this is everyone. So we tend to be drawn, we tend to like other people who are like us, and we tend to fall in love with people who are opposite of us, people that irritate us a lot. Why did God do that? Like, that makes no sense, but it makes all the sense because it helps us become who God created us to be. So that's my assignment for next week. Hopefully it's a goal. It's not a commitment, it's a goal, but I need to do a little bit more. And then when I show you this, and then you can try it out and see, you can see what the capabilities of Life GPS is. And then you can start thinking, how do you do that, for the camp? And you guys, especially with your video production capability, I mean, the Life GPS is definitely connected into video, and you guys will be able to do some really cool, crazy things there that I think will be, very special. If you do get a chance, if you don't, that's fine. But if you do get a chance, if you could shoot me over an email with all of the different, what do you call them, topics or subjects or focus?
Mhm.
So if you get a chance to do that, fine. If not, that's fine. But I'll set
I'll get
that
it
up
to you.
under the topics, and then then we can take one of those and kind of experiment from there. Anything else you have, sir?
I don't believe so. I will get you that list, and I'll have my stuff. I'll do some more exploring on the app in the next week as well, for sure. And yeah, I appreciate the time. This is very interesting. This levels of friendship here has got me thinking a little bit. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you, and I don't know, the frequencies, yours and my frequency seems to travel together. And so a lot of times that doesn't happen so much with people. And so I appreciate when it does. And so if you have ideas or thoughts, it's almost like we're 2, 3-year-old boys and we're just playing. And I love that. And so if you have ideas, well, what if we tried this, and like an Odia, like we could try this and try this. And I just love that kind of stuff. So appreciate it. Thank you. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.